I had 23 things to do today. Only 4 of them actually mattered. And by the end of the day, I hadn't done a single one. I replied to emails, cleared notifications, moved things forward that didn't matter. Another week passed, and I hadn't moved my life forward at all. There's a reason this keeps happening. It's something Oliver Burkeman writes about in a book called 4,000 Weeks. That's roughly how long you get, if you're lucky. 4,000 weeks. That's it. And one of the first things he identifies is what he calls the efficiency trap. The more you get done, the more shows up. Answer emails faster, you get more emails. Clear your list. It rebuilds overnight. You never catch up. And while you're trying, the things that actually matter keep getting pushed back. So for 7 days, I ran one rule. Only do what actually matters. Here's what happened. Day 1 started with a list of 23 things to do. The first question was honest. Which of these actually matter? Not which are urgent. Not which are easiest. Which ones, if you skip them forever, would genuinely change your life? 4 out of 23. At 8:47 a.m., 3 hours into the day, not one of those 4 had been touched. Instead, 2 emails replied to, 1 file organized, 1 notification cleared. None of it mattered. All of it felt productive. The decks fill up again overnight, every single night, and the important things keep waiting, while you spend another day feeling busy and going nowhere. Day 2 started differently. The first 2 hours went to one thing, just one, that actually mattered. A piece of writing that had been sitting unfinished for 11 days. It was done by 10 a.m. That had not happened in weeks. Day 3 was harder. 4 requests came in. Under the experiment's rule, none of them actually mattered. So the answer was no, or not yet. The anxiety was immediate. A low-level panic that something important was being neglected. By the end of the day, nothing had collapsed. Nobody had noticed. The world had continued exactly as before. Burkeman calls this the anxiety of finitude. The discomfort of accepting you cannot do everything. The discomfort is real. What it is warning about is not. Here's where the experiment got uncomfortable. Burkeman writes about a concept he calls cosmic insignificance therapy. He says, what you do with your life doesn't matter all that much, and the universe absolutely could not care less. Most people feel dread reading that. Burkeman says, feel it anyway. Sit in it. Let it be true. Because something unexpected happens on the other side of that feeling. You stop postponing the things you actually care about until conditions are perfect. You stop treating important work as something you have to earn. I started tracking what actually mattered each day, writing it down, scoring it, watching the pattern emerge, and what I found was uncomfortable. Most days I was spending the majority of my time on things I would never consciously choose. Then Burkeman said something that stopped the whole experiment cold. Attention is life. Your experience of being alive is nothing more than the sum of everything you pay attention to, which means your life is already being spent. The only question is, on what? Day 5 was the first day it stopped feeling like an experiment. The question, what actually matters today, had become automatic. It no longer felt like a rule being followed, it felt like the only sensible way to start a day. Day 6 brought the hardest test. A conversation that had been avoided for weeks. One of those things that sits quietly at the back of your mind taking up space. Under the experiment's logic, it mattered. So it happened. That evening felt lighter than any evening that week. By day 7, the numbers looked strange. Undone tasks, 14. Emails unanswered, more than usual. But meaningful work completed that week, more than the previous 3 weeks combined. The piece of writing unfinished for 11 days, done on day 2. A conversation avoided for weeks, had on day 6. A decision deferred for a month, made on day 7. None of that happened because of a new system. It happened because the question changed. Before the experiment, what do I need to get done? By day 7, what actually matters today? Those two questions look almost identical. They produce completely different lives. So what did 7 days of only doing what mattered actually prove? 3 things. First, the to-do list is a terrible measure of a good day. A day with 3 meaningful things done and 14 undone is better than a day with 18 things cleared and nothing that actually mattered. Second, the anxiety of leaving things undone is a feeling, not a fact. Nothing catastrophic happened. The anxiety was real. What it was warning about was not. Third, and this is the one that stayed, the tragedy is not that you don't have enough time. The tragedy is that you have been spending the time you do have on things you wouldn't choose. If you actually stop to choose, stop trying to get everything done, start asking what actually matters, then do that. First, every day without waiting for conditions to be perfect, because they won't be. And 4,000 weeks is not as many as it sounds. Before you watch another video, try this tomorrow. Pick 3 things that actually matter. Do them first. Ignore everything else. Then come back and tell me what happened. If you want to track this the way I did, I built something called the Decision Score System. 30 daily pages, weekly reflections, and a progress graph so you can actually see where your time is going. Same experiment. Your life. Link is in the description. The book is also in the description. And I mean it more literally in this context than I usually do. It is worth your time. And if you want to keep seeing experiments like this, real books, real questions, real results, that's exactly what this channel's for. Most people read the book. We test it, honestly. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.